All right, boys and girls, today's lecture is going to be over the quadratic formula. We've already talked about factoring and completing a square. You will be able to use this formula on the test coming up soon. Let's talk about the quadratic formula. What you can do is visualize that using the formula and you're solving a quadratic equation, keep in mind that we're trying to find the x-intercepts. Okay? The x-intercepts, which I know I've talked about before, is also known as the roots, zeros, and solutions. About ran out of room. Okay? All those terms mean the exact same thing. Alright? So, let's take a look at the quadratic formula. I'm not really going to go into a proof or how it came about. I'm just going to throw it out there. We'll get into the behind the scenes of it later. Right here. Guys, this is a formula that you're going to have to start memorizing. It's set in stone. You're going to use it so much that you'll just automatically know what it is. How to use it's pretty simple. The nice thing about the quadratic formula is it works. It works for every quadratic equation that we solve, that you can solve. Okay? So, factoring it, we try to keep A equals 1 and, go from there. A does not have to equal 1. Okay? When A does not equal 1, I would suggest to use this quadratic formula. Okay? Because, if A is 1, we can factor, we can complete the square. With the quadratic formula, it does not matter what A is. But I would definitely use it when A does not equal 1. Okay? So let's look at an example. Probably won't take too long. And actually, if you watch this video, you're going to see that this was number 1 on your DMP. So let's go 4b squared plus 8b plus 7 equals 4. Now, before you get all crazy, you got to put this, make sure it's in standard form. Okay? That means it's got to be set equal to 0. Alright, so I'm going to take everything to one side. I got to do the opposite, be fair. Now I have 4b squared plus 8b plus 3. Okay? When A does not equal 1, you get into a lot of, not complex numbers, but irrational numbers, crazy decimals. And you have to go back to your rules of simplifying radicals, something we did earlier in the class. What I'm going to do next is label A, B, and C. All right? Well, A is 4. B is positive 8. I'm just going to write 8. And C is 3. Now, let's use this quadratic formula. I'm going to erase this and show you that it works. Okay. Alright, so let's recall what was A, B, and C. A is 4, B is 8, and C is 3. Guys, all I'm going to do now is just plug and chug into my formula. That is all I'm going to do. Okay? Now, one thing I said during the summer was make sure you use parentheses. Watch how this works. Negative, parenthesis b, which is 8. Okay? We'll figure that out here in a minute. Plus or minus the square root of 8 in parentheses, taking place of b there, square, minus 4 times a is not 1, I know it's 4, and then times c is 3. All over. And this is the most forgotten part of the formula, believe it or not. 2a. 2 times a, which is 2 times 4. Now, we got numbers. Let's go ahead and solve it. Okay? We're going to go yellow here. Negative outside of the parentheses 8, that's just negative 8. Plus or minus. And guys, don't try to punch all this in on a calculator, which I know you will. Just try not to. 8 squared, 64. This should always be a positive number right here. Okay? If it was negative 8 squared, it's still positive 64. Minus 4 times 3 is, let's go 48. Got ahead of myself. All over 8. All right. Now, how does this simplify? Let's go to the next page here. I got negative 8 plus or minus the square root of, well, what's 64 minus 48? It's a great American hero number, 16. And that's all over the 8 right here. Now, I'm getting out of this yellow. I need to go blue. Okay? Now, let's keep simplifying. That's all you're doing. You're just algebraically crunching these numbers. Square root of 16 is a perfect square. I'm going to go ahead and do that. That's going to be negative 8 plus or minus 4 all divided by 8. Now, this is where we're going to get our answer. Okay? So I'm going to scroll over to here. Negative 8 plus 4 divided by 8 is one of the answers. And negative 8 minus 4 divided by 8 is one of my answers. And then you just get the fractions or decimals, however you want. Negative 8 plus 4, that is negative 4 over 8. Well, that reduces down to negative 1/2. And then over here is, I don't know what that sign is. It should be an equal sign. That's negative 12 over 8. If I reduce that down, that'd be negative 1 1/2. And that's your answer. And then I'm done. Alright? Now, all I can tell you from there is be careful with signs. Use parentheses. Alright? Alright, gang. I'll see you tomorrow.